here's a fun fact for everybody. I just want to let everybody know this. I do see sometimes I'm able to check in the chat room, and I do see the comments in there about the videos and how it's too bright, etc. And we're trying to fix everything. We'll try to get everything right. But I just want to remind everybody that we are new to this. So we're trying to figure all this stuff out as we go. The guy that's running the camera right now is a out of work EMT. So we're trying to figure all this out. This is we just purchased this unit. This is actually cool because this unit that we purchased is a unit that will allow us, okay, it's like a mini satellite pack. And so there's no internet here. This is all done off cell towers. And for what we for what it is, it's pretty darn good. So just keep that in mind that we're trying to learn all this new technology, and look, that's what happens when you depend on a bunch of media outsiders for your number one news source for Trump stuff. So just bear with us as we work through the issues here. It's going to be dark when Trump gets there. He won't be there for another hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And when he does get there, we will have to adjust again. So a lot of cool people in the crowd today. If you're there in Albuquerque, if you know anybody in Albuquerque, have them come say hello.
On that Corpus Christi beach, it felt so right. And I remember how her green eyes used to shine, and the taste on her sweet lips was like cherry wine. We can talk about any state that we've been through, except the one where I hitched this ride with you. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. Maybe someday I might just go back and find the best love this cowboy ever had. Yeah. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. So don't you talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. That's where she said goodbye to me. Yeah.
Hey y'all, this is Dave Kilner from the band Coldwater Canyon, and you're watching RSBN, the Right Side Broadcasting Network, your number one streaming source for all things Trump. You can find Coldwater Canyon's music on cdbaby.com and keep tuning in to RSBN. We'll be right here on the Trump train with you.
We're gonna make America great again. We're gonna make America free again. People have the power to vote that way. All you people screaming USA. We're gonna fill this country with work again. We're gonna bring those jobs back for good.
Why she dances alone? No, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Is there something at home? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Why she dances alone?
How do you guys like that?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what she's running from. You can ask her to dance if you want, but you smile and just say no. Nobody knows why she dances.
That's okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. What a wonderful opportunity it is for me to be standing before a bunch of rowdy New Mexicans with a ton of energy tonight. As they said, my name is Alonzo Baldonado. I currently serve in the House of Representatives as the Majority Whip. And I did say majority. The 2014 election cycle was exciting, and we delivered a huge win to the people of New Mexico. For the first time in 60 years, we are the majority in the New Mexico House of Representatives, and that was a majority win. Right now, the other side, they're desperately trying to retake the majority. But with you, that'll never happen. This time, we keep the majority. The last few years, we've seen some common sense changes in New Mexico's policy that have made us more attractive to businesses trying to relocate to our area. We just had a huge announcement. Facebook is coming to Los Lunas. That's a game changer, people. I'm gonna pass a couple of these out. Maybe someone can catch. Turn that cup over, young man, and tell me, or young lady, and tell me where that cup was made. That cup, where was that cup made? In the USA. Those cups were made in Los Lunas, New Mexico, USA. That's going to change America. That's going to make America great again. We have a lot of races to look at this cycle, guys. We have a lot of down-ballot races. The first one I want to mention is Nora Espinosa, running for the Secretary of State. Nora is one of us right now. She serves in the House of Representatives, and she'll be delivering a huge win on election night. Does anybody here live in Albuquerque? All right. Quite a few. Congressional District 1, Richard Preem is our candidate there. He will be on your ballot. Michael Romero, brave man running for CD3 in northern New Mexico. And of course, the Honorable Congressman Steve Pierce will be speaking in just a little bit. Steve's running for re-election. The ones that are near and dear to my heart are the House and Senate races, the down ballot. All 112 seats are up for re-election. And we need you to make that happen. We need to keep the majority, and we need to flip some seats in the Senate. Something personal from me. This quote you've heard before. It goes like this: stand for something or you'll fall for anything. The personal attacks and the mudslinging have been at a record level during this election cycle. As candidates, we stand to run for office, but we need you to stand next to us to deliver the win. Together, we love our country. Together, we love our communities. And together, we love New Mexico. Let's make America great again. I'm going to invite a friend of mine up to the stage now, Pastor Steve Smotherman from Legacy Church. Steve is going to deliver an invocation for us this evening.
Hey! You know, before I pray, I was at the first Trump rally when they said he didn't have a chance. And now I'm at this rally where I believe he's going to win. But it's one thing to show up here, it's another thing to show up at the polls. We have to vote. Take your friend with you. Take your grandmother with you. Take your wife. Take somebody with you to the polls, and let's vote, and let's see Donald Trump be the next president of these United States. Our religious freedoms are at stake. You've heard that I like bearing arms. Yeah. And I think we have an incredible opportunity to change New Mexico and really make America great again. We're in play. It's a wonderful time. Let's get out and do our part, and let's see Donald Trump be president and make America great again. It's an incredible time. So let's pray. Father, in the powerful name of Jesus, we come before you humbly. You said if we would humble ourselves and pray and seek your face and turn from our wicked ways, you would hear our prayers and heal our land. We thank you, God. This is a crucial time for America. We thank you change hearts and minds. And you change them to the place where we realize that our Constitution, this republic is built on the Constitution, that it's a set of laws and rules that we need to abide by to keep us great. And Father, this man, Donald Trump, says that's what he'll do. So Father, we pray that you speak to hearts and minds all over this land, New Mexico and America. And on November 8th, we'll see a great moment that we would be witness to when the end of the Clinton era and regime is over, and politics as usual is over, and politicians who aren't accountable to the people, that this day we'll be able to make a great proclamation that God, you had mercy on America. So we thank you, we praise you. It's in the powerful, mighty name of Jesus we pray. Unashamedly, we call on your name. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you guys.
So our next guests on the stage tonight, ladies and gentlemen, will please welcome to the stage UFC welterweight contender Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and along with him, United States Army Special Forces sniper, ranger, qualified Green Beret, and UFC fighter, Mr. Tim Kennedy, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hey, good night, America. This is going to be a good show tonight, huh? Hey, so this flag right here, I bled for, I've killed for, I've sweat for, I was willing to die for. And that guy that's about to land the plane that's going to come talk to you, the plane, he believes in that flag and he respects it. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to respect this flag. And we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. So you say it with me. Take your hats off. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I don't want to hear my voice. And to the republic for which it stands. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, God bless America. Don't let anybody disrespect that flag ever. Ever. God bless America.
We're going to respect the flag a little more now. We're going to have Naya Fisher come up and sing the national anthem for us. Naya, will you join us on stage?
Thank you. I'd love it if we could sing this all together as we sing a cappella. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. The next person that we're going to bring up on stage tonight to make a few remarks is someone pretty recognizable in this state. Colonel Alan Way is the CEO of CSI Aviation. Colonel Way was the 2014 nominee for the U.S. Senate race and ran a great competitive, strong race against Senator Tom Udall. And Colonel Way, most importantly, is a retired Marine colonel with service in 3 wars and 3 Purple Hearts. Please help me welcome Colonel Alan Way.
I'd like to tell you I did that on purpose, but I didn't. I just got a good recovery. This is a great day. This is a great day. You folks are great to be here. I got to tell you, this is what it takes to win an election. It takes people coming out. It takes people talking to their neighbors. It takes people who are willing to go the extra mile. And with 9 days to go, that's what we need. We're here to welcome the next President of the United States when his jet touches down a little bit. And I'm pretty confident he's going to be pretty juiced, even though I think he's had 4 or 5 campaign rallies already today. This is a guy who's got a lot of stamina. I don't think anybody takes that away from him. Look, in the election we're staring at, and I said this a week or 2 ago when Governor Pence was here, some of you were probably there. Too many people in this election that are voters are looking at emotion rather than the consequences of the election. And I can tell you that the consequences of the election are far more important than getting wrapped around the axle on emotion. So let's remove ourselves from emotion and start looking at it as if everything is on the line, and it is. And the first thing, and we all talk about this, the courts. What would 4 more years in effect, an extension of the Obama administration do for our court system? We'd be in trouble. And it isn't just 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices, it's the appeals court, and it's the district court. Literally, 100 or 2 of federal judges over the next 4 years. We can't afford to have that. Those are consequences. The economy. You know what our economy, we've had a 1 or 2% gross domestic product every year. That little amount when we need 3 to 4 to fully recover from the recession of 08 and 09. And nobody knows that better than the people of New Mexico, because we have been struggling to come back from the recession of 08. So I can tell you this, what we need is someone who knows how to create jobs, and there is no contest between the 2 candidates. No contest. National security. Southwest, guys, he's not arriving yet. National security. I know a little something about national security. And I can tell you this, that the world is a very dangerous place. You know it, I know it. And the current administration has been like an ostrich with their head in the sand, while the enemies of this great country have grown in strength. And that's crazy. Crazy. What we need is someone who's going to rebuild the military, make it so strong that no one screws with us. Nobody gets hurt if you're so strong no one wants to pick on you. National debt, another consequence. We're $20 trillion in debt, and the meter is running every day. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I campaigned once or twice, and I kind of looked at the New Mexico budget. But I can tell you this, the New Mexico budget is minor compared to the national budget. The fact is, all of us, you and I and the states, we've got to balance our budget because we can only spend what we make. I mean, that's pretty fundamental. Why they don't get it back there is maybe because they own the Federal Reserve and they can print the money. Well, that's got to stop, or else they're going to absolutely we're going to be Argentina. So that's got to end. That's a consequence. Open borders. Are you kidding me? I mean, they've turned some of our military bases into daycare centers. I mean, this is crazy. If you cross the border illegally, you need to be removed. And that's another thing. We will build the wall, but contrary to misperception, it isn't a real wall for 3,000 miles. It's walls in certain places, and then out in hard mountain areas, it's done electronically with aerial surveillance and all kinds of other high-tech stuff. But the bottom line is, the combination of all those things make it an effective barrier and an effective border for the purpose for which we want it to be. Another consequence of the way we've been running this country for the past few years, we have rampant crime. Rampant crime. And it's made worse by a president and regrettably his follow-on nominee who wants to aggravate racial tension in this country. You know, in New Mexico, we're a wonderful state. We are a wonderful state with a lot of different kinds of people in it. We all get along together. Someone ought to look at New Mexico as a model as to how to get along. But the rest of the country needs to get along, and we got to shut down crime, we've got to back up our police, and we've got to get along with one another. And I'll end with the last consequence, and it's a follow-on to the divisiveness that we've got. And I'm a pretty tough guy, but it breaks my heart to see the anger we have for one another. It shouldn't be that way. It wasn't always that way. I want to win this election. And then I want to reach my hand out to good, God-fearing Democrats and say, come on home, let's put this thing together. We need to do that for the greatness of this country, for our children and our grandchildren. Listen, I'm proud to be here, honored to be able to speak to you. Again, I applaud your being here, and I thank you for being here. I honestly believe we got a shot to win this thing. We're going to do it. God bless America. God bless you all. Thank you. Now, I've got to introduce the next speaker, and he's a hell of a guy. He's probably glad I rambled on because we got time to kill. The congressman from the 2nd District of New Mexico, Steve Pearce. He's a 6-term congressman. He's an Air Force veteran. I've never held that against him. We get along pretty good. He's got impeccable integrity. He's a hard-working conservative. He's a hell of a man. And I'm telling you, I'm proud that he represents us down there in that part of the state, and I wish he'd represent us all over the state. He's a great guy. Steve, where are you? Oh, here he is. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Hello, New Mexico. How you doing? Is that the best you can do? Let's try it again. Hello, New Mexico. That is great. Now, I just had to bring with me the Albuquerque Journal for today. Reading the headline, Clinton wants the complete facts from Comey. I thought that's what the investigation was. He wants the full facts from her. Holy mackerel. Welcome with me tonight, my wife, Cynthia. She is the love of my life and the treasure of our relationship. Thank you, Cynthia, for being here. We've got some of our friends on the stage with us. Just thank you all for being here, because we're literally trying to decide the future of the country. It's far bigger than an election. Which way is the country going to go? And the stakes are very, very high. But you and I, here in New Mexico, we are New Mexico. It doesn't matter if you're one of the roustabouts from the southeast corner, one of the miners from the northwest corner. It doesn't matter if you're in agriculture, farming, ranching, providing food for the entire world. We are New Mexico. God bless you all for being here. We're veterans. We're Native Americans. We are Hispanics. We are mixed culture, this New Mexico. In fact, I think that we set the stage for the country because we've got 400 years of us getting along together. We work across racial lines. We work across party lines, church lines. It doesn't matter because we solve our problems here. That's the greatness that we can show to the rest of the country. And no, we don't always agree in New Mexico. Sometimes we disagree with the other party, sometimes with ourselves, but we work it out. And that's what the country needs a big dose of right now. Just a little bit of what we do here on a regular basis. Now, this fact has not gone unnoticed by Mr. Trump and Mr. Pence. This is their 4th time here. Now, not that I'm keeping score, but if I were, the score would be 4-0. In the World Series, that's called a sweep. I think we're about to sweep New Mexico for Mr. Trump and Mr. Pence. Now, I saw Mr. Trump up close for the first time at the convention, the national convention. Thank you for being there, and thanks for voting for Mr. Trump. We are not given from the media what I saw there. 3 big takeaways from the convention. Number 1, the night of the acceptance speech, he's in the middle of the speech, and he says at one point, talking from the teleprompters, I'm getting support from evangelicals, and he pauses. He pauses and he comes off the teleprompter and he now looks at us and he says the thing that I think captivates who he is. He says, I'm not sure I deserve it. Think about that a moment. 33 million people, and he confesses in front of all of them with humility that I might not deserve that, but I do appreciate it. I want a leader with humility. The second thing he did, he had Mr. Cruz's speech beforehand. And his staff, as staff should do, said, we got to pull the plug. He's going to embarrass us. Please, Mr. Trump, don't allow him on TV. It was Mr. Trump that said, we did not request to see the speech in advance. We didn't ask to approve it. We will honor our commitment. That's the second thing I want, is someone who will honor their commitments even when it hurts them. And I saw that. Mr. Pence drew the third comment. He says you can fake everything in politics, but you cannot fake your kids. Now, you all got to see the kids on national TV. We were sitting back here watching them on the front row in a political convention. You're there with 10 or 12,000 other people, all going to tell you how important they are. Even while the world's best speakers are up there, it's chatty, moving back and forth, just a constant murmur of noise from out there. And Mr. Pence's kids were listening to every word. Somebody wants a picture, they go over, take the picture, go back and sit down. That's what I expect in our leaders, someone who has the respect and raises kids with respect for the process and pays attention. One of two people are going to be president of the United States. So for me, the decision is very basic. I served in Vietnam, 71, 72, and 73. By the way, it's 50 years since my class graduated, and the class of 65 was one of the heaviest lost classes in all of Vietnam. So earlier this year, I took a flight around the world solo in my single-engine airplane that's sitting right over there at Qatar. We're kind of low-tech down in Hobbs. We pulled the two rear seats out, and I put two 55-gallon drums back there and filled them full of fuel. And I flew that flight around the country, 26,000 miles, to honor those who did not come home from the war. And during one of our missions, we were flying over the demilitarized zone, which was right there between the North Vietnamese and the South Vietnamese. And when we would get that high up in the country, when we'd get that far north, you could hear the fighters and the bombers going over the north, and you could hear the SAM call, Sam, break left. This one afternoon, we were just pulling up on station. We're going to be there all night. We're going to be there even until the next morning. We heard an F-4 go down. 2 people ejected out of it. 1 got into the water. 1 was on land. The helicopter picked the one up in the ocean very quickly. The one on land required permission from Hawaii before they could go in. I listened while that aviator was saying, please come get me. You're a quarter of a mile away. I listened while the helicopter was saying, but we got rules, we got regulations. The rules of engagement won't allow us to come on shore. And he says, man, you're right there. Come on, I hear the enemy coming. They never got the approval that afternoon. The helicopter left with the airmen on the ground. During the night, we heard a keyed microphone, and we heard automatic weapons fire. I assumed that it was our airmen letting anybody up there listening know that it was his last. The next morning, the helicopter got there and began to call and never got an answer back. I have burned with anger since 1972 over a government that puts its young people in harm's way and will not give them everything they need. And so when I saw Hillary Clinton ask in front of that committee, what does it matter? 13 hours she had to do something about it, and she did nothing. I have the answer. I have the answer to Mrs. Clinton. What does it matter? It matters, ma'am, because I do not think this country wants a commander-in-chief who does not know what difference does it make. I think we want somebody as a commander-in-chief who knows what difference it makes. I think that is Mr. Trump. I want a leader in this country who understands American exceptionalism and will drive us to that point again. I want a leader in this country who will reach out and draw back the manufacturers here who've left because of high taxes and high regulation. I want a president who will look to the millennial generation and say, we're going to give you more than jobs, we're going to give you careers to where you can live your life. I want a president that has the values that you and I have about this country and love of this country. I want a president who will make this country great again. I want Mr. Trump as president. God bless you all for being here. Let's go vote. Let's bring Mr. President back. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. All right. Now, we're going through a moment here when we'll all exit the stage. Mr. Trump's plane is on the way. We'll be here shortly. And you all will see the next president of the United States next. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Joe Seals back here in the studio here at RSBN headquarters in Auburn, Alabama. You're looking live at Albuquerque, New Mexico right now, where Donald Trump is about to rally voters. If you'll just stand by for 1 second. Microphone's muted. Told you why. Here, unmute it. All right, we're back here, and anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We are awaiting Donald Trump's plane, which is scheduled to arrive about 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time in Albuquerque. Tomorrow, Donald Trump will head to Michigan, where he will hold 2 rallies, the first one in Grand Rapids and the second one in Warren, Michigan, which we will be at both of those events tomorrow. So don't forget to tune in to those events. We are burning up the campaign trail. There is a difficult situation with lighting tonight for the event. The venue didn't provide lighting, so we're trying our best to test the strengths of our new camera and equipment. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in to our broadcast. Big news today. The FBI found 650,000 emails on a laptop recovered from the Wiener residence. And there's some big news, folks. This is going to be a bad week for Hillary Clinton. Thanks for watching RSBN and making us your choice for Donald Trump, all things Donald Trump. And I would remind you that you can also watch this broadcast on Donald Trump's Facebook page at facebook.com/Donald Trump. We will be back here after the show. Thanks for all the support. Please donate to RSBN. It costs a lot of money for us to be at these events, folks. I mean, we spend tens of thousands of dollars per week, and that is not an exaggeration. We have 3 crews, 3 full-time crews out there. We could really use the help. rsbn.tv/donate. I'll let you listen to some music now, and we'll be back to the rally as soon as we see Mr. Trump's plane. We will go live, right? Are we going to play? Are we playing that tonight? We are? Okay. We may be able to play the Air Force One theme tonight when Trump lands from the House PA system. We'll let you know here shortly.
about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City nights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. Hey, mister, can I bum a ride? Anywhere you're gone is fine, as long as it's out of town. I could even fill your tank as a way that I can say thanks. I'm feeling kinda down. We can talk about anything that you want to, except one thing, mister, I'm begging you. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City nights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. She fell in love with me on that Corpus Christi beach. It felt so right. And I remember how her green eyes used to shine, and a taste on her sweet lips was like cherry wine. We can talk about any state that we've been through, except the one where I hitched this ride with you. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. Someday I might just go back and find the best love this cowboy ever had. Yeah. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. So don't you talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. That's where she said goodbye to me. Yeah.
Hey y'all, this is Dave Kilner from the band Coldwater Canyon, and you're watching RSBN, the Right Side Broadcasting Network, your #1 streaming source for all things Trump. You can find Coldwater Canyon's music on cdbaby.com and keep tuning in to RSBN. We'll be right here on the Trump train with you.
We're gonna make America great again. We're gonna make America free again. People have the power to vote that way. All you people screaming USA. We're gonna fill this country with work again. We're gonna bring those jobs back for good again.
no getting down the feeling right. And there she is alone again in the corner, sipping on a glass of house red wine. As the band begins to play, she's grooving, letting music fill her soul. Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows what she's running from. You can ask her to dance if you wanna, but you smile and just say no. Nobody knows why she dances alone. There's a million things that it could be, from broken hearts to broken dreams, or getting tired of being left out one more time. To tell you the truth, your guess is as good as mine. Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows. Is there something at home? Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows what she's running from. You can ask her to dance if you want, but you smile and just say no. Nobody knows why she dances
are looking live, don't be fooled. That is not Mr. Trump's plane, unless they're flying on Mike Pence's plane tonight. That is the press plane that carries the members of the press. Unless Mr. Trump is flying Mike Pence's plane, which is a possibility, we'll see here shortly, won't we? That could be him.
That's a big, big crowd. That is a big, big crowd. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. You bet. USA. You bet. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is so great to be here in New Mexico. In 9 days, we are going to win this state, and we are going to take back the White House. Thank you. I'm going to fight for every citizen and every worker in New Mexico, and we need to fight. It's time we fought. I want to just tell you, the polls have come out, and they have been amazing. Even before the big blow-up on Friday, we're leading in many of the polls. We're leading in national polls. We're leading in Ohio. We're leading in Iowa. And by the way, we're leading in Florida. Leading in Florida, big. We're leading big in Florida. We're leading in many, many states. And I just wanted to give you a little secret. We're tied. That's not so good. We're tied in New Mexico. We're going to win New Mexico. We're going to win. You know, we set this up just a couple of days ago because we heard how well we were doing here. And traditionally, you understand, Republicans aren't quite there, right, yet? But this is a Republican who is there. We're going to win this state. You're going to be very happy. I'm going to fight to bring your jobs back, to make your community safe and secure, and to deliver the honest government America deserves. This is a great movement, folks. This is really a great movement, a movement like they've never seen before. We are now on the cusp of incredible, historic change that transfers power from a failed political establishment and returns that power to the families and communities of your beautiful state. A beautiful state. Early voting is underway, so make sure you send your ballot. Who's voted? Whoa. Oh, that's great. I'm leaving. You all voted. The hell with you. Wow, that's a big percentage. That's fantastic. All right, so for the 7% that hasn't sent your ballot, hasn't voted, please vote. If you want, you can leave immediately. Now, it's a little late. But get out and vote. Everything matters. And it's going to be close. It shouldn't be close in New Mexico. We're bringing your jobs back, folks. Shouldn't be close. Real change for New Mexico begins with immediately repealing and replacing Obamacare. Very energetic group, I have to say. But, you know, it's like this all over the country. It's like this all over the country. We fill up hangars on one day's notice. It's all over the country. It's like this. They want to see America be great again. That's what they want. That's what they want. They're tired. They're tired of the Iran deals. They're tired of the jobs being stolen from us. They're tired of a great, great military, the greatest people on earth, but their military is so depleted, they've let it go. Using jet fighters that are so old they can't get parts to them anymore. This isn't what we stand for. Your largest health insurer, Presbyterian Health Plan, is pulling out. You probably heard it. Blue Cross in your state is raising rates by, do you want to hear this? Put your hands, because I'll depress you. You want to go home and go to sleep. 93%. This is Obamacare. 93%. I just left the great state of Arizona. Feel good because they're at 116% increase. And it doesn't work. It's horrible health care. It doesn't work. The deductible is so high you'll never get to use it. It's so high. So it's a horrible thing. We're going to repeal it. We're going to replace it. We have so many unbelievable alternatives, much less expensive, and great health care. Much lower deductibles, great health care, and much less expensive. It's horrible how we got into this mess. Do you believe it? We have wars we never win. We have borders that don't exist. Everything we do, it just doesn't work. You know, the fact is, I say it all the time, our country doesn't win anymore. We're going to start winning again with everything. We're going to start winning again. New Mexico will be one of the states hurt most by Obamacare. You see that with the number I just gave you, unfortunately. And New Mexico families won't have enough money left over to pay their bills or to get medicine for their children. You are amazing people. I'll tell you, you're great people. You're great people. You're great people. A lot of people in this country, they've been hurt. They've been hurt by incompetent politicians, by politicians that just take care of themselves for special interests. You're great people. So elect me and we will stop the premium hikes in New Mexico and all over the country. We will stop the Obamacare madness. It's madness. It's madness. In Minnesota, where the premium increase will be close to 60%, not nearly as high as New Mexico, the Democratic governor said the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. And I use this quote because it's so correct. Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. In fact, much more expensive. And folks, it's not going to work, okay? And I said it before they passed it, and it was passed with lies. You remember Obama 28 times. You can keep your plan, you can keep your doctor. Guess what? You can't keep either. And he also didn't talk about these kind of increases. And next year's going to be worse. Next year's going to be worse. So she wants to double down. I think she's got bigger problems right now, if you want to really know the truth. What a time we're living in. I'm asking for your vote so we can replace Obamacare and save health care for every family in New Mexico and in the United States. Real change also means restoring honesty to our government. We all know about Hillary's mounting legal troubles that she has brought onto herself with her serial, willful, purposeful, and deliberate criminal conduct. Hillary Clinton is not the victim. You, the American people, are the victims of this corrupt system in every single way. And folks, this is your last chance to save it. I really believe that. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, boy. I love the sound. But that's an old one. That makes a lot of noise. That's okay. I still love the sound. This is your last chance. You're not going to do it. In 4 years from now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know that. You know what's going on. Now the FBI has found, you're not going to believe this one, this just happened, another 650,000 emails. How do you get to 650? I think that's called the mother load. I think they found them all. So the 33,000 that she deleted and bleached, I think is going to be in the 650. But how do you have that many emails? What do you do? Sit down all day and just keep typing? Hey, No wonder nothing gets done in our country. This is the single biggest scandal since Watergate. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end the rampant government corruption. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear and heed the words that we, not me, we are all about to say. Ready? When we win on November 8th, get out and vote, get out and vote. We're going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp. You know, I've made a couple of these massive speeches today. The crowds are always so big. And I said, you know, drain the swamp. I didn't like it. It started 2 weeks ago, right? And I said, it sounds so hokey. I don't want to do it. And they said, no, it's something that's cute. It's nice. Let's see. Who knows? And I gave it to one group. They went crazy. Then I gave it to another group. They went crazier. And then people at the third speech, they started screaming the words to me. I didn't even say them. Mr. Trump, drain the swamp. And then what happened? Well, and then what happened? Go ahead. Amazing. You never know. You never know in life. You never know what works, but that one works because people are going crazy over it. Drain the swamp. And, you know, and then I went and all of a sudden everybody's going crazy over it because it's so descriptive. But you never know in life what works. Frank Sinatra did My Way. He hated the song. He didn't like it. He said it'll never work. Then he sang it and people loved it. Sang it again. Then it went out, became the #1 song. Then all of a sudden he loved it, right? That's the way it works. But at the core of my contract is my plan to bring back our jobs. And that means the great jobs, really, really good jobs. We've lost so many of them, but great jobs for New Mexico. Right now, 70 million American women and children live in poverty or on the brink of poverty, right on the brink. 43% of African American school-aged children live in poverty. 34% of Hispanic school-aged children live in poverty. This is unacceptable in the United States. This is unacceptable. As your president, I will go into the poorest communities and work on a national plan for revitalization. That's what I do. That's what I do. Under budget and ahead of schedule. Remember last week I opened the hotel. Under budget and ahead of schedule. That was one of 8 stops. And I wanted to see, because I had my kids, Ivanka, Don, Eric, they were in charge of the hotel. And I wanted to, she's shouting, yay. They're good kids, I will say that. But I wanted to be there for the ribbon cutting. And Hillary said, he took time off from the campaign. I was there for 2 seconds. In the meantime, I made 8 stops. Stopped in Washington. We cut the ribbon. It was beautiful. It was great. And I said, under budget, and I wanted to do it for that reason, to congratulate my kids. It's going to be one of the great hotels. A lot of jobs. A lot of everything. Everything's good. But one of the great hotels, the country will be very proud of it. Okay? But what I really wanted to say is we built it under budget and ahead of schedule. Isn't that nice? When we do things in the country, highways, roadways, we don't do too many of them anymore. We don't build bridges anymore, right? We don't build tunnels anymore. But when we do things, it's always double, triple, quadruple the cost. It takes 5 times longer to build it than you thought. So under budget and ahead of schedule, we will replace decades of failure with generations of success. We will bring prosperity to our poorest communities, safety to our most dangerous neighborhoods, and hope to those places which have not known hope in a very, very long time. New Mexico, and you love New Mexico, right? Man, that's a lot of people. We'll get a bigger hangar next time. I have a lot of friends that live in New Mexico. It's an amazing place. New Mexico has lost nearly, here's the bad news, 40% of its manufacturing jobs since Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, a deal strongly supported by crooked Hillary. America has lost 70,000 factories. Think of what that is. I always say it's a typo. 70,000 factories since, what are they having, an alarm over there? What happened? Is that an alarm going on? There's so many people in here. That's some alarm. That's all right. Let it run all night, why don't you? You know? They'll figure out how to turn it off. America, but think of this. America's lost 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization. 70,000 factories. Another Hillary-backed deal. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. They're taking our jobs. They think we're babies. We're not going to allow it to happen anymore. Next, Hillary and her donors want the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which will destroy countless more jobs in New Mexico. It's another deal. By the way, the good news is it will never be as bad as NAFTA. Nothing can be. NAFTA is the worst deal ever signed, trade deal, ever signed by any country at any time. But TPP is going to be a disaster, believe me. Overly complex, too many countries. We want to make deals 1, 2, 3 straight lines, right? And if the country doesn't behave properly, we send them a notice of termination, and then they call us back, and they give us an even better deal. You have to see this. You have to see this Trans-Pacific. It's all over the place. They don't know what they're doing. Almost 6,000 pages, and I guarantee you, like Obamacare, our people don't even read the pages. A Trump administration will stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership, renegotiate NAFTA, and we're going to stand up to China and China's currency manipulation, which is killing her. And I have very good relations with China. There's nothing wrong. China's doing the right thing. The only thing wrong is that our politicians allow them to get away with it, believe me. We're going to start making things in America again. We are going to start, very importantly, making things in New Mexico again. As part of our plan to bring back jobs, we're going to lower taxes on American businesses from 35% to 15%. That means more companies opening up their doors in New Mexico. This place will be hot as a pistol, I promise you that. Be hot as a pistol. We're going to massively cut taxes for the middle class. The middle class family in New Mexico with 2 children will get approximately a 35% tax cut. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, is going to raise your taxes by almost 50%. And think of this, we're the highest taxed nation in the world. And she wants to raise you. That's a really good idea. Raise taxes. Go ahead. We're going to lower your taxes big. We will also unleash your vast energy resources in New Mexico to bring jobs, wealth, and higher wages to your state. We will become a rich nation again. And New Mexico will become a very, very rich state. That's okay. But to be a rich country, we must also be a safe country. Violent crime increased 53% in Albuquerque last year. Did you know that? 53%. What's going on out there? What's happening? 53%? That's a lot. Why? Why? I'll tell you a big portion of it, but honestly, without having studied it greatly, I know the 53% number, you know the number, drugs pouring into New Mexico. So we're going to stop that. No, don't worry, we're going to build the wall. Don't worry about it. We're going to build the wall. We're going to build the wall. And Mexico's going to pay for the wall, and they'll be happy to do it. We have to stop the drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth and poisoning everybody else. I'm going to support our local and federal law enforcement officials in order to reduce violent crime in New Mexico. That's a big increase, 53%. That's about as big as I've heard. That's a big increase. Every family in New Mexico has the right to live in safety and in peace. You have that right. But Hillary Clinton also wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees coming into our country. Hillary's refugee plan means generations of terrorism, extremism, and radicalism spreading into your schools and into your communities. When we win, we will suspend the Syrian refugee program. We have no choice. And we will keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. We have no choice. A Trump administration will also secure and defend the borders of the United States. As I said, we will build the wall. Mexico will pay for the wall. They'll be very happy to do it. Mexico's making a fortune off the United States. We have tremendous trade deficits with Mexico. They'll be very happy to pay for the wall. Trust me. Just rely on me. Do you think I can do it, folks? Rely on me. Rely on me. And we're going to have a great relationship with Mexico, by the way, but it's got to be a fair relationship. You know, right now we have a one-lane highway going into Mexico. They've got our jobs, they've got our factories, they've got our money, they've got everything. You know what we have? Drugs and unemployment. We've received the first ever endorsement from ICE and from the Border Patrol officers. Big endorsement. They've never endorsed a presidential candidate before. And these are great people that want to do their jobs. You know, it'd be much easier working for Obama or working for crooked Hillary. Because, frankly, when you're working for Hillary, she wants to let people just pour in. You could have 650 million people pour in, and we do nothing about it. Think of it. That's what could happen. You triple the size of our country in 1 week. Once you lose control of your borders, you have no country, folks. You just have no. And we want people to come into our country. Just so you know, I want people to come in. And some should come in through merit, the merit system. There's nothing wrong. But we're going to have big, beautiful doors in the wall. And we're going to have people come into our country, but they're going to come in legally, right? Legally. We want them to come in. We need people to come in. Hillary has pledged open borders. The immigration officers warned that Hillary's plan is, quote, the most radical immigration proposal ever put forward because it's just open. The immigration officers also warned that Hillary's radical plan would result in the loss, think of this, of thousands of innocent American lives and an uncontrollable flood of illegal immigrants across the border, taking jobs, and crime would be rampant. As we speak, we are in the middle of an unprecedented crisis on our southern border. The agents on the ground say it's the worst they've ever seen and that the American people aren't being told the truth about what's happening. But you people know the truth because you're here. People, drugs, and cartels are pouring across the border. This crisis is putting enormous stress on your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, and your wages. You know that. Do you know that? I mean, everybody knows that. Low-income Hispanic Americans are often those hurt the most by illegal immigration, which people are really now seeing. And we're doing so great with the Latino vote, with the Hispanic vote. We are doing. You know, it just came out. There was a story. I was just given the Bay of Pigs Association, Cuban, just gave me in Miami the award, the great award, an unbelievable award, just 2 days ago. And they just did a big story in Florida because we're doing unbelievable. The lines are 4 blocks long. They've never seen anything like it. And everyone's talking about, you know, Trump is getting the Hispanic vote. What's going on? I knew that. I knew that. I knew it. Because people that are here, Latinos, Hispanics, people that are here, you want your house, you want your job, you want all of these things, and you want security and safety. I mean, I understand that. But the Cubans gave me their most coveted award, and it was a great honor, I will tell you that, and we're doing fantastically. I will protect jobs for Hispanics and for the Hispanic American community in New Mexico. When I become president, we will keep the cartels and the gang members out of New Mexico. We're sending them back. And we will protect the jobs and security of every worker in your state. We're here to protect. We're here to bring jobs in so you have plenty of choice at lots of money. We will also repeal Obama-Clinton defense sequester, rebuild our badly depleted military, and take care of our incredible veterans. How many veterans are here right now? How many veterans? A lot of veterans. Our veterans have not been treated right. Do you know that we have 22 suicides a day among the veteran community? 22 said, we love you too. I don't know, that guy sounds pretty rough. He loves me. He sounds very rough, but I still love him. He's obviously are you a veteran? Yes, right? Yes? He's a veteran. We're going to take care of our veterans. They haven't been taken care of. But think of it, 22 suicides a day. You know, there are two numbers that stick out. 22 suicides a day you would think is not something that is even thinkable, right? And the other is when you have 70,000 factories that have left our country and go. Those two numbers, I thought that was a typo. And the 22 suicides a day, I had to check. I had to say, is that possible? But the waits are so long to see a doctor, sometimes 2 weeks. But you wait 4, 5, 6 days to see a doctor. And a little prescription, a little procedure could save your life. And these are our veterans. These are the greatest people in our country. We're going to take care of our veterans for the first time because they have not been taken care of. There was a story recently, a couple of weeks ago, about a highly decorated veteran who lived out of a dumpster in a certain area of our country. Lived out of a dumpster. That's not going to be happening anymore, folks. We will rebuild our badly depleted Air Force, the smallest and oldest it has ever been. That means massive new investments. Did you ever hear of a place called Kirtland? Huh? Kirtland Air Force Base right here in New Mexico. A lot of investment going there. It's a great base, too, by the way. We also need a new foreign policy that puts America first. Hillary brought disaster to Iraq, Syria, Libya, and every place that she touches. She empowered Iran, and she unleashed ISIS by leaving that big vacuum. And, you know, I tell the story of Mosul. You know, we had Mosul until Obama and Hillary got out, and then they took Mosul back. But now we're fighting again. But I tell the story. Why can't we use the element of surprise? For 4 months, we've all been hearing, we will be attacking Mosul in 4 months. I say, why are you doing this? Why are you saying it? Why do you have to talk? Then I hear in 3 months, we're going to attack in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. Then a couple of weeks ago, I heard, in 1 week, we're going into Mosul. And then I said to myself, why are they doing this? Why don't they use the element of surprise? General MacArthur, General George Patton, boom, you know what they're doing, right? They're spinning in their grave. They can't even believe it. Very tough. And you know, one of the reasons they wanted Mosul, the ISIS leaders, and we do have to take ISIS out, you know, that's got to take them out. We want peace through strength. We don't want to be in wars, but these savages are chopping off heads, drowning people in steel cages, burying people in the sand. We haven't had, this is medieval times. This is medieval times. And then we can't do waterboarding. It's far too tough, you know. We're fighting on a different level. See, we're fighting on a different level, folks. And we have to be tough, and we have to be smart. And we have to be, in some cases, pretty vicious, to be honest with you. Pretty vicious. But we have to take them out. And then we have to get back to building our country, because our country, we've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East, $6 trillion. And we could have rebuilt our country twice. $6 trillion. And you know what? The Middle East is in far worse shape than from our standpoint. If our presidents would have gone away, let Obama go play golf every day. I won't mention other names. But if our presidents would have just gone away, we would have been a hell of a lot better off than we are right now. Let them go to the beach. They could have gone to the beach. And Hillary, she has such a bad relationship with so many countries. Putin can't stand her, doesn't respect her. It's a nuclear country. I mean, I've listened to what she says about Syria. We'll end up in World War III over Syria with her. Believe me. You know, there's something nice. I don't know Putin. But wouldn't it be nice if we could get along, actually, with the other countries? Wouldn't it be nice? Be nice. Be smart. They want to get ISIS. We want to get ISIS. We put everything together. We knock the hell out of ISIS. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be smart? Imagine if some of that money had been spent building new schools, roads, bridges in New Mexico and the United States. Wouldn't that be nice? Remember, folks, $6 trillion, and we're in much, much worse shape than we were 15 years ago. We should have never gone in to Iraq, but we should have never gotten out the way Obama took us out. Never. It left the vacuum. And from that vacuum, ISIS formed. Hillary was there, and now you listen to her. We will stop ISIS. She's got zero chance. ISIS's biggest dream is that Hillary Clinton, crooked Hillary, becomes president of the United States. They dream. Because look, they started, remember the junior varsity, right? Obama said, they're the junior varsity. Some junior varsity. So they started as a very small little seedling. And they grew out of the vacuum left by the way we got out, right? The vacuum in Iraq. And they grew. Right now, they're in 32 countries. 32 countries. And she's been there. If she could have stopped them, she would have done it already. I'll stop them, folks. I'll stop them. Believe me. Hillary and her friends have dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe, and foreign wars that we never win. That have made us less safe. They've left our borders wide open at home, and they've shipped our jobs and wealth to other countries all over the world, including Mexico. To all Americans, I say it is time now. It is time for new leadership and smart leadership. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So nice. I love these young, beautiful children up front. President Trump, President Trump. They love the country already. Everybody's going to love the country. And folks, we're a divided nation. We're a totally divided nation. We're going to come together. We're going to have love. We're going to have love. It's going to be a much more unified, hopefully a totally unified country. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of a Trump administration. We are going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. Hillary's going to raise taxes. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. They're a disaster. We'll cancel every illegal Obama executive order. We will provide school choice for New Mexico's children and put an end to Common Core so we bring education local. We are going to rebuild our military, and we are going to take great care of our great veterans. We will support the men and women of law enforcement and save the Second Amendment, which is totally under siege. The National Rifle Association endorsed me, the earliest endorsement they've ever made for a presidential candidate. And I have to tell you, Wayne and Chris and all of those folks, they are great Americans. They love this country. That I can tell you, NRA. So to have their endorsement is very important. But believe me, your Second Amendment is under siege. It's under siege. And with me, there will be no under siege, I promise you that. And we will appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Hillary Clinton wants us to think small, wants us to believe things can't change, and wants our lives to revolve, and that's so true. She wants our lives to revolve around Washington, D.C. I'm asking you to dream big. Remember in the old days, dream big. Our country used to dream big, to push for bold change and to believe in a movement powered by the people and by their love for this country. And it's true. Even these really dishonest media people, the world's most dishonest people. Don't worry, you won't be on television. They never show the crowd. You know that, you've been hearing me say it. They never ever want to show these massive crowds. These are among the most dishonest people on earth. They never want to show the crowds. I go home, I say, did they show the crowd? No, they show my face. I'll tell you, though, when they hear the roar, it sounds like an Ohio State football game, right? Amazing. Amazing. Very dishonest. They're very dishonest people. The other night I had 17,000 people at an event, and one of the anchors was saying, we're here at the Donald Trump rally. He's got a few thousand people. A few thousand is not, you know what? A few thousand people is not 17,000 people. A few thousand people to me is 3,000 people, okay? But there is a level of dishonesty that I would never believe is possible. But we're going to win. We're going to win. I've led a great life. Now I want to give back to the country. And this country has been so good to me. I love this country. You know, I was on the other side. I was on the other side for a long time. But I love this country, and I saw what was happening. And we were going in the wrong direction. And I went from like the ultimate insider to probably the ultimate outsider, wouldn't you say? I'll have spent over $100 million of my money on doing this. And a lot of people, they say, the greatest political phenomena they've ever seen, they say it. But you know what? And one of them actually said to me, it doesn't matter. Listen to this one. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. What you've done is created something that's never happened in this country before. Let me tell you right now, if we lose on November 8th, I have wasted tremendous time, energy, and money, believe me. Believe me, it will be a total waste of time, energy, and money. But I saw what was happening, and I'm with you. I've spent a career finding the untapped potential in projects and people all over the world. Everywhere I look in this country, all I see is untapped potential waiting to be set free. I'm tired of politicians telling Americans to defer their dreams to another day when they really mean defer their dreams to another decade. You know that. America is tired of waiting. The moment is now. We're never going to have another chance. Forget 4 years from now. It's not going to happen. This is almost like you could say a miracle that's taking place. Knock on wood. It's almost a miracle that's taking place. We're leading in the polls. We're leading in the states. This is special. You have to get out every last vote because you know the odds are stacked against us. You do know that. Get out and vote. We're going to win it so big. This will be Brexit times 10. So we have to go and vote, and we have to stop believing in failed politicians and start believing in each other and really believe in our country once again. We're going to do it. There is no challenge too great, no dream outside of our reach. There is no dream, folks, outside of our reach. Don't let anyone tell you it can't be done. The future lies with the dreamers, not the cynics and not the critics. Hillary's been there for 30 years, and she's accomplished nothing. She's just made things worse. She will never get the job done. Hillary Clinton is the candidate of yesterday. We, not me, we are the candidate of the future. Our movement represents all Americans from all backgrounds and all walks of life. We're asking for the votes of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and first-time voters, of which there are many. You know, in the state of Texas, they were trying to say, because the polls are crooked, everything's crooked. Man, it's a rigged system, folks. But they were saying we were very close in Texas. And a man got up today from Texas. He said, I want to tell you something. We have the biggest turnout in the history of Texas. We're up 50% more than we ever were. And those votes are all going to Trump. And I've been watching you guys talking about how it's close in Texas. It's a blowout in Texas. This guy was great. The blowout. And he said, and people are coming to vote who have never voted before, but they love our country. And people are coming to vote who haven't voted in 20 years because they're excited. And they walk in, these are non-voters, and they walk in with Trump shirts and Trump buttons and Trump hats. They didn't vote before, and now they have all the stuff because they're now energized. They're energized. These are great Americans. These are also great Americans. We are asking for the vote of every American who believes truth and justice, not money and power, should rule the day. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. We are fighting to unlock the potential of every American community and every American family who hope and pray and yearn for a better future. With your vote, we are just 9 days. Can you believe it? I started this journey a year and a half ago, June 16th. Remember coming down the escalator with Melania? And it seemed like such a long time. And now, looking back, it seems so close. And we started off with 17 people, all talented, governors, senators, Dr. Ben Carson, who was a great guy and who endorsed us. Ben endorsed us. He's a great guy, I will tell you that. But all talented people, and then one by one by one by one. And I listened to the pundits, and they say, well, Donald Trump is not experienced. I said, well, you know, that's okay. But one by one, and they did a report at one time, they were comparing experience. I had 4 months experience, and they had 233 years. In other words, when you added it up. And here we are. We only have crooked Hillary to beat. We got to beat her. We're going to beat her. You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? I think the least of her problems right now is this race, okay? We are just 9 days away from the change you've all been waiting for. You've been waiting for this change your entire life. Get out and vote. You're going to look back at this evening and you're going to say this was a very important part of your life. More importantly, you're going to look back at that vote when you sent that vote in. You're going to look back at that ballot, that vote, and you're going to say it was the single greatest vote you've ever cast, because that's when our country started winning again. And you're going to be proud of your country again, and hopefully you're going to be proud of your president. Because I'll be working hard. I'm going to be working hard for you. Together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless New Mexico. Thank you. Get out of here. Thank you.
And Joe Seals back here at the RSBN studios in Auburn. Thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We had 40,000 viewers strong tonight. Big league. And Trump's Facebook page, where we also simulcasted this rally, had over 105,000 people watching at one time. And I'm sure once the viewer number is in, we will have over 1 million viewers on Facebook for this rally, way over 1 million. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and remind you all that you can come back here tomorrow at we'll be live at noon Eastern time from Michigan. From, I believe we will be in, where are we at in Michigan tomorrow, Jake? Warren, Michigan is at 4 o'clock. And then we're working on getting, let's see here what we got. Let me pull up the schedule here really quick. Tomorrow we'll be in Michigan at 4 o'clock in the morning, Grand Rapids at noon, and then we'll also be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Folks, we are going the extra mile for Mr. Trump, and we are going to each and every one of these rallies. We are a small media company from Alabama, and we are just, we need you guys' support. We have very few people working for us right now. As you can see by the graphics on the screen, we're not exactly Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, thank God, yet, but we don't have the technical capabilities that they do. So we're working on a lot of new things coming to our network, but we need your help. If you can please contribute at rsbn.tv/donate. We're trying to take on the big media people. We're trying to take away their viewers one at a time, because it's so important that we all realize that this is a new time and people are starting to rise up and come over to new media sources like Drudge Report, like Breitbart, like Alex Jones and InfoWars, like so many others out there, Gateway Pundit, Conservative Treehouse, Reddit. We appreciate, these are the people that are doing the job of the mainstream media today. If it weren't for these guys, then the public would have no idea that certain of these things. I mean, Reddit broke several stories themselves by just investigating things. So I want to thank everybody for the support, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Please donate, rsbn.tv/donate. Big news coming up soon. We have a special for election night. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have wall-to-wall coverage all day long on election night, Tuesday, November 8th. We will be live from several different areas of the country, bringing you live reports. We will have the election returns as they come in. We will have, hopefully, even a camera at Trump Tower on election night. So, once again, God bless you all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Have a good night, and I better not say it. Go Cubs.